Good morning, kids. I hope you're ready for another story from God's Word, from the Bible. We're going to be talking about Matthew chapter 25, verses 14 through 30. Matthew's found in the New Testament. Jesus said the kingdom of God was kind of like a man who decided to go on a long journey. And he got his servants together, and the first servant he gave 5 talents. Now, we don't know how much a talent was, but it was a lot of money. So he gave him 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so he gave him 5 talents. And he had a stack, 5 talents, right? And then he took the second servant and he gave him 2 talents. Okay? And he got the third servant and he gave him 1. Just one talent. And then the man said, "Take care of this and use it wisely." And then he went on a long journey. And he was gone for a long time. And so the first servant took his 5 talents, and he invested them, and he used them, and he managed them so that when the master came back, he would have more. And the other servant who had the 2 talents, he took and did the same thing. He took his talents and he used them and he invested them and he used them wisely. So when the master came back, he would have more. But the third servant, he didn't do that. He was kind of scared of the master. So he took his 1 talent and he found a place and he dug a hole and he buried it in the hole and he covered it up so that he wouldn't lose it. He didn't use it. He just put it in a hole and left it there. Well, a long time later, the master returned. And he called all of his servants together and he said, "Here, let's see how you did with the talents that I gave you, with the money that I gave you." And so the one servant who had 5, remember, 5 talents, he said, "Well, master, not only do I have the 5 talents you gave me, but I have 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got the 5 that you gave me, and I've got 5 more. And so now I've got a big stack of 10. See them? 10 talents. The second servant said, "Master, I still have the 2 talents you gave me, but I went out and I used them wisely, and now I've got 2 more. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 4 talents. Pretty good, huh? So now I've got the stack of 4 talents. Well, the third servant went to the master, and he had gone and dug up that 1 talent, and he said, "Master, I was scared of you, and I was scared of losing it, and I didn't want anything to happen to it, so I took care of it by digging a hole and burying it in that hole and covering it up, so when you came back, I'd still have that 1 talent." And guess what? He still had the 1 talent, but he didn't make it grow. Well, the master went to the person and the servant who had 10 talents and said, "You did so well, and you were so faithful, that I'm going to give you much more." And then he went to the servant who had 4 talents, and he said, "You did so well, and you were so faithful, I'm going to give you so much more." But then he went to the servant who only had the 1, who didn't use it wisely, who didn't use it faithfully, and he said, "You have done wrong. You have not used the talent that I gave you. You have not invested it. You have not used it wisely. You have not used it faithfully. So I am taking it away from you. I'm taking it away from you, and I'm giving it to the servant who has 10. And so the servant who only had 1, who didn't use it, lost it. He doesn't have it anymore. Well, what does that teach us? Well, it teaches us that God gives us gifts. It may be gifts on talents that, like, we can sing, or we can talk and tell stories, or we can do anything, all these different talents we might have. Or he might just give us money as a gift. But what he tells us is, I'm giving you a gift. And some people might have more of a gift than others, But each of you have your own individual gifts. Each of you have your own gifts, own talents. And what I want you to do is use them wisely, use them faithfully, and use them to grow the kingdom of God so that they get stronger and better. But if you don't do that, when I come back, I'm going to look at you and say, I gave you talents, I gave you gifts, and you didn't use them. So you're not going to have anything. I'm going to take everything away from you. So what I think the lesson there is that God gives us gifts that we should use to further his word. No matter what our gifts are, because we all have them, he says use them. If we don't use them, when he comes back, he's not going to be happy with us. He's going to be very sad by the fact that we weren't faithful with the gifts he gives us. So that's our story for today. Again, found in Matthew chapter 25. And it's in the New Testament. And we hope you've learned something from that story. We will see you soon. I know it. And we miss you for right now. But we're looking forward when we get to see you again. We love you so much. And we can't wait to see your smiling face.